Sylvia.
Who couldn't throw any of that away. In fact, you were compelled to save everything. This past fall, I introduced you to a woman who lived like that. Her name's Diane, and she has an obsessive-compulsive disorder called hoarding. For the next few minutes, take a trip into her world.
Just be careful of your step, please.
Oh, my God. Oh, Diane, I didn't... Staggering doesn't even begin to describe it. Where did this come from? If cleanliness is next to godliness, this is Hell's Kitchen. And this 37-year-old woman is the archangel of messiness.
You gotta get rid of this stuff, Diane. This is...
Well, I'd like to. Right now I can't.
Now look, there are dead insects in here.
Right.
Why wouldn't you get rid of those?
Because I can't get rid of most things.
Diane, who wishes not to use her last name, is a hoarder, unable to throw away even the most trivial trash.
You can't even wash that off?
No, because I'll save the napkin from it.
Now, you've got a sponge here. Ever used it?
Yes, I have.
What if I do this?
We'll go right ahead.
I'm gonna wipe off this bug splatter here.
Right.
Bother you?
A
little bit?
Well, let me see that. No, because it's going to go right back to where it was. You're not going to do anything with that. You're going to put it right back to where you found it.
Diane's relentless fear of discarding anything has created this litter-strewn house where she lives with her 9-year-old son and 15-year-old daughter. The garbage heap that engulfs them, piles of papers, old clothes, filthy glasses and dishes, empty containers, rotting food, is not from laziness. Diane's hoarding is an illness, a symptom of obsessive-compulsive disorder.
What do you think when you look around this room?
I like to know where my mind snapped, where the switch went off and this happened. You know?
Do you fully recognize that this is...
Bizarre, abnormal,
yes.
Unclean, unhealthy, unsanitary, fire hazard. Yes, I do.
You know all that.
And I hate every minute of it.
So why don't you do something about it?
Because the mind is stronger. My mind is stronger. It's like another force that just takes over.
They are suffering in the same way that someone who's depressed suffers.
Dr. Randy Frost is professor of psychology at Smith College in Massachusetts. He's devoted his career to studying the behavioral habits of hoarders, excavating the reasons why people hoard.
It may involve some sort of brain problem, brain chemistry. On the more psychological side is this emotional attachment to possessions, where the possession that I have, I've had this pencil, and it's come to feel like a part of me. And that's the way these possessions begin to feel. It's like a part of me. If I lose it, I feel like I've lost something of myself.
Now multiply that feeling 100 times over, and you begin to sense Diane's dilemma. Like other obsessive-compulsives, she's trapped in a repetitive behavior triggered by a powerful fear and a distorted sense of what is valuable. In Diane's case, she worries that if she throws an object away, something important could be lost. It began simply enough.
I started with the clutter as far as I can remember back when I was 18. I started at home with forms and bills.
But it's a short road from clutter to chaos when you save everything. She's been in this house only 4 years, and it's a jungle of junk, but not in her own mind. Diane imbues nearly every object she touches with an almost mystical significance. Watch.
I hesitate to even pick it up, but I'm going to. Here is a bagel?
Yes.
How old is that?
A roll. Good question. I don't know. Seeing that it's not really bad moldy, probably within the year.
Now, why can't you throw that bagel out?
Because
No, seriously, look at it.
All right, I'll look at it and tell you. See, my eyes and the normal part of me knows that this is a bagel, but my mind, if I wanted to throw this out, which I won't, my mind will start saying, okay, now there's texture on here, there's tones, there's shades, and it's not just a roll anymore. It's become its own little world in my mind. Maybe there's something important that got inside the roll or on top of it. If you throw it out, boy, you're going to really suffer with guilt.
Diane's case is unusual only in its details. Nationally, there's an estimated 2 million people with a serious hoarding problem. Some obsessively collect specific things, like 53-year-old Doris Outler, who has boxes and boxes of yarn and fabric and piles of craft supplies filling her house.
Altoid boxes. I love boxes, so, I'm not going to throw out an Altoid box.
And hoarding does not seem to be gender-based. 71-year-old Norm Lewis saved newspapers as a boy, and his hoarding problem only got worse with age. His one-room apartment where he now lives is cluttered with papers, magazines, books, and file boxes. Hoarding is not a new disorder. In a famous case that made headlines back in 1947, two reclusive brothers were found dead, buried under the 120 tons of rubbish they had packed into their three-story townhouse. While that's obviously an extreme example, the fact is most of us know someone who has the hint of the hoarder in them. My own grandfather saved everything. Watch springs, rusted bolts, bird feathers. Sometimes he would save things that, well, we never did exactly find out what they were. Of course, the problem with hoarding only becomes serious when it starts to interfere with daily life, when all that stuff we keep keeps us from living. Like in Diane's house. You cannot relax in the living room. You can't cook in the kitchen or even sit at a table.
Where do you eat? I mean, do you
My daughter eats in her bedroom, and my son and I eat in the bedroom.
In the bedroom?
Yes, on the bed. Take this part from me and put that in the bags and throw it out later.
How about the kids themselves? They must be embarrassed by it, aren't they?
Nobody comes up here, so nobody knows.
But there's a greater concern. With Diane as a role model, it's possible that her children could copy her behavior.
There's some indication that this tends to run in families. We don't know whether it's genetic, whether it's modeling behavior.
Diane's teenage daughter did not want to be interviewed, but when we spent some time with her son Matt, it was clear he had no trouble throwing things away or organizing his own valuables.
How do you find your toys?
I have them in the box.
Oh, where?
Somewhere around here. Yeah, right here. In the box.
Oh, wait a minute. Where is it? It's back here?
After a few moments of digging, Matt found his toy box among his mother's mess.
Now, this is interesting to me, Matt. You have kept all your toys in a nice, clean box. Did you do this? Mm-hmm. You did this. Now, your mom would never keep things quite that clean, would she?
No.
You can understand that if health officials would know about this, they could take your kids away. Couldn't
Correct.
they? It's that bad.
Yes, it is. And that's why I refuse to give up. I refuse. I know I'm going to get some help somehow.
Diane has tried to get help before, but it never seemed to work. When we come back, hope rises out of chaos. Could a hands-on program finally help Diane bring order to her life?
If I could throw this out, this is not distressing.
We continue now with our story of Diane to see how her obsessive-compulsive disorder has kept her from throwing anything away. Her problem is so out of control that her house is a garbage heap, and she knows it. But she's also determined to get better. So she has sought the help of a special therapist. Like other hoarders, Diane has tried conventional therapy and mood-stabilizing drugs without much success. Among obsessive-compulsive disorders, hoarding is one of the most difficult behaviors to treat. But there is hope.
We've talked about...
Dr. Frost has developed a treatment program specifically for hoarders, and Diane has become a patient.
Anybody gives me something, it's now my possession.
In weekly group therapy sessions that will last more than a year, Dr. Frost will focus on changing how hoarders like Diane value their possessions. Equally important, the therapy will teach the patients how to organize. This is crucial hands-on work, which takes place right in the patient's home.
Okay, this is my living room.
Okay.
Diane is first to have Dr. Frost in her house, and this is his first time seeing it.
And this your dining room in here?
Yeah.
If he's shocked by what he sees, he gives no hint, but instead moves directly to helping Diane organize. Dr. Frost believes organizing serves two purposes. It simplifies for the hoarder what can be discarded, and at the same time, it creates uncluttered living space.
So would you like to get started in this room?
Well, you don't mean throwing out, do you?
I mean organizing, putting into categories.
All right. Okay.
I have boxes in my car. I brought 3 boxes.
The goal for Diane today is to organize as much of her bathroom as possible, placing things in 3 boxes, 3 categories, ranging from easiest to throw away to hardest. For Diane, it seems everything is hard.
I even have hair from the tub that I saved. I hate even touching it. Oh, God.
That's all right. You're doing fine.
I should be in a loony bin.
No, you're doing fine.
Not right.
You're doing fine.
Only a few minutes later, the full reality of her life and her condition comes crushing down.
The Band-Aids will go in that box, too. It's so stupid.
Okay. So this part of it, even though you're not throwing things out, this part of it's hard for you, huh?
Yeah, it just reinforces how strange and different I am.
We want them to learn how to tolerate the emotional discomfort that comes along with throwing away a possession that they feel they're emotionally attached to.
After 45 minutes of excavating, it's not surprising it's the hard box that contains the most items. Diane, however, manages to let go of a few small things.
Maybe distressing.
Tiny piece of paper, an alcohol swab, both from the Easy Box.
No, I could throw this out. It's not distressing.
There's no hard data yet on how well this therapy works, but Dr. Frost claims some success with past patients. And elsewhere, similar kinds of therapy have shown encouraging results.
Doing a good job, babe.
This woman, Joanne, overcame her hoarding problem with a type of therapy similar to Dr. Frost. Her turnaround was impressive. You can see the change in the living room.
Could actually sit down if I want to, and
The bedroom.
I can sleep on my bed.
And the kitchen.
It's a big change.
This kind of improvement seems a distant goal for Diane, but perhaps no longer unreachable.
Do you think that you can now go back and start doing some of that categorizing?
Yes, I felt that way yesterday when he left. I wanted to go out and get a whole bunch of cardboard boxes and start organizing.
And shortly after her in-home visit with Dr. Frost, Diane recorded this miniature milestone.
We put some boxes over here by order of importance.
After finishing lunch with her son, she put the leftover trash in the categorized boxes,
This is the easy box, so I'm putting this in because I know that's easy.
bringing her a small but necessary step closer to actually throwing it out.
You going to get better, Diane?
I am determined to get better. I know it's going to be a long process because it took a long time to get that house cluttered. The hard stuff is going to be the worst.
In the end, secreted away amid all her mess is a 3-by-5-inch memory of how she once was and may yet be.
This is a picture that I always keep handy because I'm hoping someday I can go back to this. I took pictures of my room when I was growing up at home, and my room was spotless and clean. And it's very, very fulfilling to look at that because I know that that's me.
Christmas time is particularly hard for Diane. She knows lots of packages and wrapping paper will be coming into the house, adding to the heap. But since she started her therapy, she's been making slow and steady progress. She's now able to throw out a few things each week. And by the spring, her doctor says he expects to see a noticeable improvement in her house as well. When we come back, a story for the holidays. So